Hello and welcome to another VanHack success case. I'm Ilya, and today I'm joined by Marco, who is a senior developer that actually got two remote jobs in Canada, and one will be sponsoring his visa. So he's got a lot to share, and I'm excited to have you here, Marco. How you doing?
We're good. We're good. Really excited to be here as well.
Fantastic. So before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, how long you've been developing, kind of what got you into code, and your professional experience, please.
Mm-hmm. So I started actually developing software when I was 12 years old. Since then I've been studying a lot different languages and know probably more than 9 different programming languages. When I was 16, I moved to the US. I was a Rotary Exchange student there. I took 2 Cisco certifications there, so I went a little bit to the, networking, more hardware mind. And then when I came back to Brazil, I started my college, and then I figured out that programming was the thing that I liked the most instead of networking or hardware. And I started working for a industry automation company here in Piracicaba, where I live, and I just fell in love with automation as well. So I came to learn 2 new programming languages, which are automation programming languages. One of them is Ladder, and the other one is called STL. But again, programming was the thing that I was passionate about.
Wow, very, very cool. Sounds like you had a very diverse experience.
Yeah.
And so what about this Canadian dream? Where did this come from? How long have you been trying to get hired in Canada? How is that?
Yeah, so that's a pretty interesting story. So when I was 15, I went to Disney World in Orlando, and at Epcot, I think, the amusement park, I went to a 360 video about Canada, and I just fell in love with it. I was like, I need to go to that place. So when I actually applied for the Rotary Exchange program, I applied to go to Canada, but then they put me in by district thing there, like Rotary by district, by national district, and then I just was living in US, but then I was also going and traveling to Canada to hold the Rotary meetings and whatnot. So I got to actually visit Canada, a lot of places in Canada, more like the east side of Canada, Toronto, Kingston. So I never had a chance to actually Vancouver, the more west part of Canada, but I just came up to actually stay and live in the US, which was good,
Fantastic, very funny. That's crazy how small experiences when you're young make such a difference in the future. Right. Awesome. So great. So how about you joined VanHack? How was the experience, and how did you find out about us? What made you join? How's your experience going so far? And then we'll talk about how you got these awesome jobs.
Yeah. So let's go a little bit more, behind that. So when I was 20, I opened my company here in Brazil. So I always had that, entrepreneur kind of mindset. And then I sold that company a year and a half ago, and I moved to the US again. I just thought I need to, improve my English, and, my dream was to live in New York as well, for a short period of time. So then I moved to New York to take a ESL course. And then I ended up meeting a lot of people, a lot of Brazilian people that were in New York to actually open startups, and it was pretty cool. And one of the guys that I met there in New York, actually knew about VanHacker and introduced me to you. Gave your WhatsApp for me, and then we started chatting, and just ended up getting the print. And it was wonderful.
Cool, awesome. Yeah, Lucas is one of our original VanHack Premium members, actually. He's doing some cool stuff too with his company. So yeah, awesome. Cool. So let's get into the job search. So you joined VanHack Premium. You're getting ready to get your profile ready, everything, and then looking for jobs. How was the job search? How did you meet these two companies that you're working at?
Yeah. So I had to have a previous experience with a company in the healthcare tech. In the US, I was the CTO for them. The company, like most of the startups, didn't actually succeed. And so, actually trying to find a job in that field, in the healthcare tech field, because a lot of experience, and I've got to learn a lot of stuff in the US about, HIPAA compliance and all the ins and outs of healthcare tech in North America. That is pretty tricky, and the healthcare here in Brazil a little bit as well, but there in North America, the healthcare is pretty broken. So I've got to learn a lot of stuff about it, and I didn't want just to lose all that experience that I've gathered in the US. So I was trying to actually find a healthcare tech company to join in Canada. So, and then I asked you if you had any company in the healthcare tech field, and then you just introduced me to Coregio.
Awesome.
And the other one was just, I had the experience because when I had my company, I had a lot of experience with Magento. I've built more than 15 different websites in Magento. So, and you asked me if I had that experience, and just let's do it.
Awesome, that's great. Yeah, well, so many different types of experiences. It's kind of, I should ask you what experiences you don't have. But great. So how was the interview? Let's say for the health tech company, how was that interview process? They're actually going to sponsor your visa, and you're going to be going to Vancouver in a couple of months to visit them. So that's really exciting. Whereas the other one was just like a remote part-time job. This was actually a full-time job. You're going to be the VP of engineering, right?
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it was a little bit long. It took like a month of interviews. I probably had like 4 different interviews. The first one was actually to introduce me to the COO. So I got to, tell her a little bit about my experience and, what I did here there in the US and, all that kind of stuff. A little bit about my healthcare tech experience in the US as the CTO, about HIPAA compliance, all that kind of stuff. So we got along pretty well. And the second interview was with the COO again. And with the CTO for a more, deep technical interview about, React and a little bit about, Ruby as well. I don't have quite experience in Ruby, but I have a lot of experience in React. And mobile development as well, and they are mobile first, so they already have the app on iOS and they're developing the app on Android. So I'm going to step in as well and take care of the project management of their app in Android, because they need to launch probably Q2 next year. So that's a pretty exciting project that is going on there. And I'm also developing the web app by myself, like alone.
Wow.
No help. So yeah, all in React. So it's pretty exciting as well. And so I'm managing like 2 different projects there and taking care of that project, hands-on in that project. So it's pretty exciting. And then after that technical interview, I had another call with the CEO of the company. that perhaps she came to Piracicaba to be a Rotary exchange student here in Brazil. So that was like, wow, it was pretty amazing. So we've got to, talk a little bit about, personal life and Piracicaba and all that kind of stuff. So we got along pretty well. She's like pretty nice. And then the last interview was more of a like call or more of a talk, was with the COO again, to actually, sort out salary and, job position and all kind of stuff. So
Fantastic.
it took like a month, but it was pretty exciting.
Great. Yeah, honestly, a month is not so long. Some of our members have taken a lot longer than that for their interviews. So congratulations, that's really great news. So what's next? You're planning now. They're going to sponsor your work visa. What's the next step for you? And when are you going to Vancouver?
Yeah, so right now I'm working as a contractor for them because they want to see all my work and all that kind of stuff, which I think is good. That's one advice that I would give to people that are actually trying to find a job. Start as remote and contractor, and then you can actually show your work, how good is your work, and then you can jump into visa sponsorship or something like that. So they want me to go to Vancouver next year on January the 20th. To actually, meet me and talk a little bit about me. I'm already going to give them all my documents. I'm going to bring with me my documents, and they are going to start the sponsorship.
Fantastic. That's super exciting. Congratulations.
Pretty exciting. Yeah, they already created like a channel on Slack for me to actually talk about my visit there and all that kind of stuff. They're pretty excited as well. So it's been fun.
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be a little bit cold when you get there, but you can go to the mountains and go skiing if you want. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I've lived in Saranac Lake when I was an exchange student, so
yeah, it'll be warmer than
was like freaking cold
there. Nice, awesome. So, speaking of tips, you gave a really good tip about starting to work remotely. Do you have any other tips for people who are just kind of starting out on their job search, maybe thinking about how to get a tech job abroad? What would you say to them?
The first thing is just to apply. You need to apply to a lot of jobs to actually be accepted into one. So the biggest advice would be to apply. Apply to like 20, 30 gigs a week, I would say, or more than that a week. And then like always be really responsive to the recruiters as well. Don't wait a day or 2 days to actually answer them their emails if you get a response as well. So always be responsive and always be yourself, I guess. Like don't try to tell them what you don't know. And if you don't know something, just tell them I don't know that. Because when it comes to the actual job and you don't perform, then it's gonna look pretty bad.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. That's some good advice. Great, Marco. Well, seriously, it's been such a pleasure working with you, having you part of VanHack Premium. I think the fact you got 2 jobs remotely and one will actually sponsor your visa. I think that's probably the best we've had. I think I don't think anyone's gotten. We've had job visa sponsors, but never another job. So the combination, I think it's like VanHacker points. We need to have the VanHacker ranking. I think you're close to the top. I'm not sure who's first or whatever, but it's really great. Yeah, because there's a lot of really great talent and people in the premium community or just in general the community. So it's a lot of great stuff. But anyway, Marco, what I'm trying to say is congratulations. Enjoy the trip to Vancouver, and of course with the permanent move, we'll see you there. And for everyone who's watching this, you know, if you want to go through the same experience as Marco, have, you know, the same preparation and you know, prepare yourself to get hired with success, just vanhack.com/premium has all the information there. So Marco, again, looking forward to meeting you in person. Yeah, have a coffee or a beer. And
oh yeah, beer.
yeah,
Beer sounds good.
yeah, nice, awesome. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your, you know, your time working remotely, and then once you actually get there in person, I think you're gonna love it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Fantastic. All right, cheers.
And yeah, cheers. And if anyone wants to talk to me, you know, at all, just shoot me a message on Slack, and I'm gonna be more than glad to give any advice or anything like that. So.
Cool, fantastic. Yeah, I'll let people know. Sounds good.
All right.
All right.